What is going on, guys? It's your boy Rob, and today we're going to be talking about building muscle with calisthenics.
What's going on, guys? Rob here. What's going on, guys? Rob.
So right off the bat, we're jumping straight into the video. Make sure if you guys aren't already that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and drop a comment with what you think about building muscle with calisthenics versus building muscle with weights. Now, I've been doing calisthenics for 7 years now, and to answer the question straight off the bat, no BS. You guys know I'm a no BS channel. Yes, you absolutely can build muscle with calisthenics. Now, we are going to go into the specifics and the differences between building muscle with calisthenics and building muscle with weightlifting. There are some key differences, and we will discuss which one I think is ultimately better at the end of the video, so make sure you guys stick around so you can see which training method is best for you and what I think is the best overall. To answer the question, absolutely. I've done mainly calisthenics for about 7 years now. You guys can definitely build muscle with calisthenics. I would attribute at least 80% of my development to calisthenics. Now, I have personally lifted weight over the years in various forms. I did a bodybuilding show for a month out, and we took that show and did that show. And then I have lifted some weight. I've deadlifted before. I've done dumbbell chest press. I've bench pressed. We've squatted. We squat regularly with weight. So yes, I've done some weightlifting, but I've always done calisthenics and always mainly done calisthenics. Weightlifting has always been a supplemental thing here and there. And recently, within the past year, I really haven't touched weights hardly at all. Now, when it comes to building muscle with calisthenics, there's a couple key things and key differences from weightlifting that you guys need to understand in order to truly be successful with building muscle and building a really good physique with calisthenics. So, first things first, understand that calisthenics is different than weightlifting. How you build muscle is different. The type of physique you might achieve is a little different, but ultimately your body does not recognize what resistance is being used against it. It just knows that there's resistance. That basically means that whether you use bands, weights, your body weight, you can ultimately build muscle no matter what the type of resistance is, as long as there's resistance being applied to your body. Now, with calisthenics, the key differences are how you build the muscle, and the way that we build the muscle is done a little differently. Since calisthenics is mainly compound movements that are using more than one muscle group, it does get a little harder to isolate muscle groups with calisthenics than it does weightlifting. And this is one of the key first differences between calisthenics and weightlifting. With calisthenics, we're using those mainly compound movements, meaning every move is hitting different and multiple muscle groups. And what this does is it builds muscle in a different way. Because we're not solely working on a singular muscle group, your volume is going to look different per individual muscle group, if that makes sense. In simple terms, a dumbbell bicep curl is ultimately going to target and break down the muscle more in your bicep than a chin-up would. It's using accessory muscles and other muscle groups to actually complete and perform the movement. Now, we can go into the specifics of each muscle group, but this video would be way too long. Just so you guys know, for the sake of the video, there are calisthenics progressional exercises you can do that do actually isolate muscle groups relatively well. One of them would be ring bicep curls. So in calisthenics, we're going to use compound movements. We're also going to have to change the variation. Whereas in weightlifting, the main focus is on adding weight in order to continuously build muscle and progressively overload and break down the muscle so that it can grow back stronger, and using different variations of the same body weight movement. So that's why we emphasize doing the basics in calisthenics, is because it's going to give you that foundation to build off of, and then you're going to learn the harder progressions in order to keep building muscle, keep making the exercises difficult and challenging enough to actually build muscle. If you guys don't know, the muscle building process works relatively within a 4 to 15 rep range. Once you start breaking out of that rep range, you start targeting and accomplishing different things. To keep it super simple, 3 sets of anywhere from 8 to 12 is a really good muscle building range. You could even go up to 4 sets, and they say 2 sets is probably the minimum amount you should do to actually break down the muscle. So as long as you're hitting these rep ranges, you're relatively accomplishing the same thing. But see, Rob, I can do 50 push-ups. How am I going to build muscle? Well, to keep it simple, you're going to change the way that you do the push-ups. If you can do 50 true strict form push-ups, then it's time to move on to archer push-ups, tuck planche dips, explosive push-ups, and even working your way towards true full one-arm push-ups. What this is going to allow you to do is work back within that rep range and keep it challenging, which means that you'll actually be building muscle. Weightlifting, the process is relatively straightforward and simple. You just grab a dumbbell, you lift it until you hit your reps. If you can lift it for more than those reps, you just go up in weight. In calisthenics, you want to copy that model, do the same thing, but use your body weight as resistance and find different variations that are challenging within that same rep range. Just understand that no matter what you guys decide, building muscle with calisthenics will give you a little bit of a different look, mainly because of the compound movements that you're using, the types of exercise that you're using, and the way we do the exercises, which in calisthenics is usually a little bit more faster pace. It's outside. It has a base level of cardio endurance that isn't necessarily in weights. Weightlifting will ultimately just build the most mass possible because you can isolate and target specific muscle groups and kind of shape yourself out a little bit. All in all, to sum it up for you guys, it doesn't matter which one you do. You can build muscle with both. Weightlifting is going to get the upper hand simply because you can isolate and target specific muscle groups. It does make a big difference, especially if you're just trying to put on as much mass as possible. In calisthenics, keep in mind, being as heavy as possible with muscle mass is going to limit you in your calisthenics a little bit or make it that much harder. So ultimately, in calisthenics, the goal isn't to usually be as muscular as possible. It's to stay lean, stay strong for your body weight, and do cool skills, typically. So while you can do both, weightlifting ultimately is going to get the upper hand in building muscle mass. If you guys' only goal is to build muscle and as much muscle as possible, weightlifting is probably going to be the way to go. I actually do like the idea of combining a little bit of both and using both to their advantage. But yes, you guys can still build muscle with calisthenics. In fact, you can build a pretty impressive physique. In my opinion, a lot of people have built crazy physiques with calisthenics. And I like to think my physique is okay for doing mainly calisthenics for the time that we have. If you guys are interested in learning how you can build muscle exactly step by step with calisthenics, I do have programs available that could help you out where I actually personally customize a program to fit exactly where you're at and get you to that next level in your calisthenics training. If you guys are interested in that at all, you can always check out the site, pick up a custom-made program specifically for you. I do online one-on-one coaching as well, where I work one-on-one with you guys to get you the best results possible within my own fitness training app. That's all linked in the description below. So if you guys are ready, build some muscle, start calisthenics today, make sure you guys sign up. This has been Rob, and I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you can build muscle using just calisthenics.